Good morning, day 656. This is Dionne, the Chief Joy Connector. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Dionne. How you doing this morning?
I'm so good. It looks like you're driving somewhere. You coming to pick me up?
Yeah, I'm coming to pick you up.
Where are we going today?
I just came from, the gym this morning, as you can see.
Okay, nice.
But where you want to go?
I'm going to Queens to a festival, and I'm not excited about being on the train for an hour and a half on a Sunday. You know how that goes.
Okay, then I can, pick you up and take you there.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love.
Good morning again, Facebook and Zoom. Grab your water if you don't have some already. It's really important because that's what we're going to talk about today. Add water for growth. So if you have your water, I can show you. This is the one bottle I started. This one is 16 ounces. And I have a couple more behind it, but that's the one I'm working on now. Hey there, Teresa. Good morning.
Peace and blessing, Miss Joy Giver. And wake up.
Thank you, Miss Blazing Billionaire. Excited to have you here today. So whether you're on Facebook or Zoom, my request is that you grab water and you also have something to write with, or perhaps your cell phone to take notes on if you use that feature on your cell phone. And hopefully there won't be too much noise in my neighborhood. We shall see.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Good morning, beautiful people. Hey, Z. My name is Dionne. I am the Chief Joy Connector. I am extremely excited to be here with you today for day 656 in the Wake Up Everybody community. Our topic today is Add Water for Growth Part 2. So if you don't have your water with you, go grab it. I'm working on one water bottle. I'm also sipping on coffee to be fully transparent. There's other things to drink. And I will start off. Peace. I see people joining. Welcome, Joy, Jennifer, Z. Let's see. I'm going to pull this in here. holding up these water bottles. So this is a 32-ounce water bottle, 40-ounce water bottle, and the smaller gray one that I showed you is a 16-ounce water bottle. Why is it so important to start this day to talk about water? Because what's really crucial is you need water to grow. Now, we always think about plants. Anybody that's had a plant, whether you think you have a green thumb or not, everybody's really clear that if you want your plant to grow, you have to give it water. But we're not as equally clear that we ourselves as human spirit beings, light beings here on this planet, that we need water to grow. So if you want to add abundance to your life in any particular form, one of the things you're going to need to do that for your mental, physical, and emotional clarity is to have enough water. I love telling stories. And I went back to see what story I told you last time, so I don't tell you the same story. And fortunately for me, I went out last night and I got another story. During intermission, for those of you in New York, there's a phenomenal dance company called Asasaya. So Asasaya Dance Company had their 20th anniversary celebration at Tribeca Performing Arts Center, which is at BMCC, the Borough of Manhattan Community College. Intermission, we're walking around milling. They haven't had shows in a couple of years due to the pandemic. And I see a drummer that I know, and he's leaned up against the wall and he's sweating profusely, but it's intermission. The place is heavily air conditioned. I'm cold with a jacket on. And I'm like, bro, are you okay? And he goes and he picks up his water bottle and he takes a sip. He goes, yeah, Dionne, good to see you. I'm just a little dehydrated. And I'm like, baby, I have a whole talk tomorrow about water. I said, you should probably join us. But this is someone that's been drumming in the community for a great deal of time. And sometimes as the weather changes, people think they don't need as much water. We're not in the heat wave. It's still summer in New York, but it's not as hot as it had been. So people will discount their body's need for water. So what I will ask you to think about, because with all of my clients, private clients, group, wherever I am, yoga students, always talking to them going, how much water do you drink each day? And how much do you weigh? Because one of the simple formulas without doing ad infinitum research on the internet is looking at your body weight. So really simple. You weigh 150 pounds, 75 ounces of water. 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water. You have children, the baby's 25 pounds, 12 and a half ounces. Just basic formula. It could be more. If you're like me and you consume caffeinated beverages as well, you want to add a little more. So you can share in the chat or make note for yourself. I just want to see energy popping of maybe you don't want to share what you weigh. That's your choice. But how much water do you drink each day? And if you don't know, that's important because you need to know your numbers. So for me, I showed you the 3 water bottles and I didn't do my math, so I'm gonna do it right now. So we've got 40 plus 32 is 72, and 72 plus this 16, so 88. When and if I finish these 3 bottles, it's 88. But my goal is generally based on my weight to get through the 72 ounces. But I do, like I said, I drink coffee, so I add more. So where are you with water, fam? Do you drink enough water? Do you know how much water you drink? Do you know how much water you drink? And a good way, having these little bottles is always fabulous because you can measure. Because I'll have a client say, well, I drink 2 water bottles. And I was like, 2 8-ounce water bottles? 2 16-ounce water bottles? 2 32-ounce water bottles? Like, what does that mean? Those water bottles come in so many different sizes. I said, Z said, I see Z said, put the formula in the chat. Okay, I did not write that out from my beautiful admins. So I can do that. How much water do you drink though, Z? I didn't see you type that in there. I'm looking at you.
I'll add it.
Okay, thank you. See, how much water do you drink each day? Did I lose you, Z? Okay. You drink a gallon on average. Okay, that's awesome. Cheryl drinks a gallon. This is a well-hydrated crew. I love it. I said I can't say that that is what's most common, but I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to read to you a couple of things about water. Some things you may have heard already, so bear with me. The human body is comprised of primarily 60% water. Some of the things that drinking more water does, it helps maximize your physical performance. It significantly affects your energy levels and your brain function. It can improve and prevent treating and for headaches. It can relieve constipation. Definitely had that with one of my clients. Can help treat kidney stones. Now, this one I can personally attest to. I think I sent this out in an email earlier that it helps prevent hangovers. So those of you that consume things, and it can aid in weight loss. So those are some things. There's another study that also shows that it helps with your mental health, dehydration and there's a study on dehydration and anxiety. So they had a meme saying, keep calm and hydrate on. It's important. It's like, who thought that drinking lots of water can improve your physical health and your emotional health by improving anxiety if you're well hydrated? Those are all things. So I see things popping up at the chat. Is there anything some of my admins can share as I sip on my water with lemon in it?
Grand Rising, everyone. I will share the chat for you. So I'm seeing Adam says he drinks at least 160 ounces of water a day. Amazing. He says it helps him to improve his mood and keeps him sane, and it also improves his libido in the process.
Mm.
And then Gina gave the formula, and I also gave it in another language, another way of speaking it. John says, I've made drinking a regular habit. Yeah, I could comment about that, John. Drinking or drinking water. And then Celia Bellin says, I'm very bad with water. Sometimes I forget to drink water, but I drink a lot of tea and juice.
Mm. Okay, thank you for that, Coach Cheryl. So Celia, I'd love to hear a little bit more from you, because when you say tea, a lot of times, if you're anything like me, Caribbean background is milk tea. So adding milk and sugar to your tea is fairly normal. So tea, and is it caffeinated tea or decaffeinated tea? And if you want to bring your voice into the space, please just come off mute and share. You don't have to type it in the chat.
We
Are
have
you okay?
Celia with her hand raised. You can come off mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good morning. So yes, I'm of Caribbean background. I'm St. Lucia to be specific. So, anything hot that we drink is called tea.
Mm-hmm.
But since I'm here in New York, in the wintertime, I drink a lot of cocoa tea, which people would say hot chocolate, which is the natural cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
And that I put milk in there. But most times in the morning, I have regular tea, like green tea.
Mm-hmm.
I used to put sugar. Now I stopped using the sugar, so I just have the green tea. And
Okay.
now that it's summertime in my backyard, I have mint. So I pick the mint leaves. I just brew that. I drink the mint tea. And sometimes I boil a big pot of ginger, and I mix the ginger with the mint. And I grab a cup of that in the morning before I head out to work. But during the day, it's so busy that sometimes I just don't drink any water. And at nighttime, I say, you know what? I didn't drink any water today. But I make sure I bring juice to work. I drink juice during the day at work. And sometimes I even bring, I have tea on the job, and I'll, if the office is so cold, I just quickly, make a cup of tea.
Mm.
So right now I'm forcing myself to drink the water. So what I do, I put 2 bottles of water right next to my computer on the desk. So I'm looking at it, and I tell myself, by when I'm walking out of this office, 5:30, these 2 bottles have to be empty. So I'm really pushing myself to drink it, but it's something that I don't understand why I don't feel that way about water, because my mother, that lady drank water constantly. And at 94 years old, at the nursing home, when she had to end up there for a short while, rehab home, the nurses used to say to her, Miss Emma, why is your skin so nice? My mom had no wrinkles. Her skin was supple and nice. And my mother says, I drink a lot of water. So to me, I'm saying, if my mom did it, why is it I'm just not doing it? So now I'm forcing myself to do it.
Thank you so much for that, Celia. And so, yes, my family is from St. Thomas, USVI, VI Massive. And so I totally understand bush tea. So you make bush tea, which you mint, from the yard. And so the ginger and mint is fine, especially if you're not sweetening it, because you could say that it's infused water, even though it's tea. And so even I've done that with mint, with bush tea in my family's yard is lemongrass. But the bush tea is fabulous as long as you're not adding sugar to it and things that'll detract from the healing modalities and benefits of the water and what's in it. Conversations you can have and affirmations, because in this space, Wake Up Everybody community, we're so clear on charging things. You can charge your water. And so if you're speaking life into the water, and then you want to consume that. And you can ask yourself, and it's like, if you want to grow, if you make a list, each of you, if you have a list of goals, of things you want to accomplish, whether it's intimate goals, financial goals. I know some people were single and looking for partnership. Some people are in jobs looking for new jobs. Some people have jobs, want promotions and raises. You have health goals, wellness goals, wealth goals, legacy goals. In order for you to be here and grow, you need to feed yourself. So sometimes with my clients, we have conversations to find out, how are you in relation to yourself? What thoughts do you have about yourself? Are you really in love with yourself enough to give your body all of what it needs? This body, your physical home that you have until you expire, to give it what it needs. The Cure, I have a fabulous quote. I don't remember who it's by. I always have to look at it. The cure for anything is, it says salt water. The cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea, by Isaac Dennison. But I love that quote because it calls on the water. And for you, since you spoke, Celia, thinking of us being from the island and the ocean and always bringing that into your body, that you immerse yourself in water. So we're really good about cleansing. You wash your face, you brush your teeth, you're always, cleaning your body with water. And I agree with what your mom did. And may I be so blessed to live to 94. I do consume a lot of water. And that is something people do ask me at my age, at 55, what do I do for my skin? And it's like, what products do you use? And I was like, I'm not really married to any products. I drink water. And it was like, but there must be something. I said, I use natural products on my skin. So it could be shea butter, coconut oil, just natural things. And I drink a lot of water. And I'm literally always running to the bathroom. So you said it's busy at work. Do you not drink water maybe because you feel like at work you would have to use the restroom too much? That was for you, Celia. Is it Celia or Celia?
It's Celia.
Celia. Thank you, Celia. So is that one of your concerns about water?
I think it's not just the water, because I'm not a big food person. I barely eat. And I think that's part of my problem, that I don't really feel hungry. So I find myself just working. And it might be 3 o'clock, and I said, geez, I didn't even eat my lunch. And sometimes I end up taking the lunch home and having it for my dinner, which I
Okay.
know is terrible. So I think
Okay.
it's just me in general and my nutrition and the way I eat. And I'm 64 years old now, and I'm really, really thinking about this and trying to change it.
Okay. Well, what I will say to you, Celia, and to everyone here is that you said something that was a great hack that I was going to give. You have 2 water bottles next to your computer. So if any of you are struggling with consuming water, I did share, and since some people joined later, I will share again. I have 3 water bottles next to me. This is a copper one because it has its own healing benefits and what it does to change the water. That's a 32 ounce, a 16 ounce, and then my 40 ounce. So at night, literally, I fill up these 3 water bottles, knowing that that's a goal for me to consume it. I do make coffee. I have a coffee maker. So placing the water bottles where you need it. If you get up and go to the bathroom, maybe you don't want it in there, but you'll have a water bottle there. You'll have it next to the coffee maker. If you boil tea in the morning, have it next to the teapot. Having it physically placed in places. And when you leave your home, having a small one. So this is the one I generally carry with me. That's why it's all beat up, from dropping it and whatnot, to have it with you. So that's a hack. It's called habit stacking. So it's like, okay, I know I'm leaving the house. I'll have a water bottle in my bag. I know I'm going to work. I'll have a water bottle next to my computer. I know this. And if if you gamify it, I'm going to drink 75 ounces of water each day. You can kind of create a schedule for yourself on how much water you're going to consume and when, and see how you do. And there are specific water bottles. I don't like promoting products, but if you know there's a problem, there are apps you can get on your phone for water. And there's also a water bottle called Hydrate Spark. And something about this water bottle, I don't have one because I have my system for drinking water, but it was one of my clients that told me about it. The bottom, if you notice, this is different. There's a ring around the bottom of this water bottle that lights up to remind you to drink water. And I definitely have, if people have problems with it, I've told them about it. But because I don't have one, I cannot tell you how much it is. I can just tell you the efficacy of it from the clients that I know that do drink the water. So that's what I will say about that. But having a conversation with yourself, whether it's journaling or meditating, would be helpful, I think, for you, Celia, to get an understanding of why am I not feeding my body? Because what it sounds to me is you said that you're working, so you're giving to your employer, but you're not pouring into yourself. You get really focused on what you're giving to them, but you're far less focused and disconnected to what you need to be present and to be here for yourself and for others. Another analogy that I love sharing is I'm doing my hand on the airplane. So on the airplane, when they're going through the whole emergency system thing, they'll tell you if the mask drops down and you're traveling with someone else, you have to put the mask on you first before you can take care of anyone else. So even if it's the fact that you absolutely love your job and you love what you do and you want to pour into the organization and make it better, you still have to pour into yourself. And water is a way of self-love. It's a really good, clear way of self-love. So I will just leave that with you, Celia. Hopefully it resonates for you to carry that forward. I'm going to pause because I keep seeing things pop up in the chat. What did you say, Celia?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in a bit here, Dionne.
Yeah.
I thought of this question: can one drink too much water?
In very rare cases, I did research. I think it was called hydrothermia. So in very rare cases you can, but it's not often because most times people are moving like there was one person. So I've heard people come up with that. So I would say yes, but the cases of it happening are like 0.002%, really rare cases where there are health complications from people drinking too much water. So because it's so rare, I would say no. But I think it was Adam and someone else said they drink over 100 ounces of water. One of the benefits in that, and because we all know, but those of us that are regular parts of the Wake Up Everybody community, Adam goes to the gym each morning. So the more physical activity you have and the more you sweat, like the more you're asking of your body, the more you need to give it. So that does not mean if you're sedentary that you shouldn't drink water. But if you're going to the gym, there's certain athletes that will do that. They'll add things to their water as well, like electrolytes. I am a yoga teacher and a dancer, so there are some days that I'll add electrolytes, but for the most part, I will just add lemon or lime to the water to pH balance. So that's what I would say. And I also wanted to ask if there were comments from Facebook.
We're gonna get to that very shortly.
Okay.
But there's a second part to that Z brought in, which she said to me, you probably have a complication from drinking too much at one time.
That your body does need time to process things. And there's another class that I went to in learning and education at the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute in Puerto Rico. And what they point out is that you should actually, because we have so much salivary glands, so we should actually be chewing our water even. So something that slows you down and helps your body process and metabolize, because a lot of people, I'm doing better these days, so we'll eat or drink too fast. Your body can't process. So, and then even I did read that it helps with your elimination. So if you're consuming with things, if you're not chewing food enough, it doesn't digest as fast. And if you're drinking water too fast, it won't digest and process, because even water needs time to digest. The general rule of thumb, I don't have a chart in front of me, water needs about 15 minutes. And a lot of us, you can raise your hands or comment in the chat. A lot of us, we've grown up, when you sit down to eat dinner or any meal, you have a glass of water or something to drink with you. So even when you're serving out a meal, someone will ask you, it's like, well, what do you want to drink? But you honestly should not be drinking and eating at the same time, because the body needs time to digest. So if you're having water and it helps you in terms of weight loss and making sure that your body can process what you're giving it. Think of your body as a phenomenal computer. Most of us are here on some sort of device, whether it's a laptop or a phone, which is nowadays a mini computer, the smartphone. It needs something to work. Our bodies need water and food, but there's some people, you can go on long fasts and just consume water and you'll be fine. The phone needs to be plugged in. The computer needs to be plugged in. Our energy source comes from what we give our body. So food, sunlight, water. I'm going to pause. I see a hand raised. So Gina, give me one moment. So in addition to that, so if you drink water, it's 15 minutes and then you eat. And there's a book that I made the mistake of loaning this book out, so I don't have it right now. But the name of it is Your Body's Many Cries for Water. So there are times where you have a headache, and it could be you're dehydrated, you need water. There are times where your body could be asking for water and you feel hungry. There are times where you might be annoyed. People talk about being hangry, right? You're so hungry, you need food so much that your energy shifts and you're angry at people and you treat them. All of that, they can come from dehydrated, because there's water. What is it? H2O. There's oxygen in water. So you need all of that. There's another quote that I love, and then I'm going to go to you, Gina, where it says, I think it's a funny one, and there are plaques and signs that say this. I posted it on in a story before. Drink water and get some sunlight. You're basically a house plant with more complicated emotions. So you got to drink water, get some sunlight, because this is what your body needs. So Gina, you've had your hand raised for a minute. Please come off mute.
Okay, I just wanted to share a couple of Facebook comments that we've been putting in the chat, and one of them is very funny. Jim McBean shared an old saying, chew your drinks and drink your food. So we need to make sure we're chewing.
Thank you for that, Jim. That is so true. That's how I learned it as well.
Oh, okay. And Jem's been sharing a lot, and she did also share that she knows of someone in her 80s who drinks a gallon of water daily, plus juices 3 times per day, and her skin glows. She also commented about your glowing skin, Coach Dionne, and saying, because she's sure because you stay hydrated. Loving Dionne, see Monsanto's glow, which I'm sure is because she hydrates with water, etc. And Jem adds 2 drops of 100% pure lemon or peppermint essential oil in her water to add to her hydration. I did have a question. You mentioned about people fasting and drinking water. I had an aunt who used to do a 30-day water fast, and I was a child and I was always fascinated. And I never had, you can't ask your aunts questions. So I never could ask her, like, do you eat at all during those 30 days? So it's just strictly a water, and that's it. She said prayer. She said God and water, and that's all she did for 30 days.
That's so great, Gina. A water fast is something I aspire to, and quite honestly, I do not. I'm really big on green juice fasts. But I do know lots of people. So we're in August still. Some of you may be aware of the term Black August and all the things that happened with revolutionaries in August. And I do know a lot of comrades that for political reasons use that to acknowledge that. And so they do water fasting for a period of time. One particular friend breaks the month down, and she'll wean off of food and drink and then wean back in. So there's a period of eliminating, but she does have a good period. She does it with her husband, and there's at least 7 days where there's no water. But I do know people that have gone as long as 40 days, and there are actually places that will assist you in that because your body functioning will change. And if you wanted to try something like that, Gina, I know people that have done watermelon fast because there's so much healing modalities in watermelon. If you can find the ones with seeds, I don't know where you are. I'm going to Atlanta and I'm really excited. I buy watermelon every other day there because I can get the ones with seeds easily. But yes, there are plenty of people that only drink water for a period of time. I've only done it for like a day or two. My excuse, I don't know if it's real, because one book that I've read, I don't want to walk over to my shelf and get it. I can't think of his name, but I'll put it in the Facebook group later. He was someone that did water fast for long period of times and kept up his physical activity. And I personally felt as though, since I'm a hot yoga teacher, and when I get off today with you, I'm going to go take a 10 o'clock yoga class in a heated room around 105 degrees, 40% humidity, that I need more than water to fuel my body to get through that day. Because I'll take a class, I'll teach a class, I'm going to a dance class. And, there's so many things that I do physically. I say I need to give my body a bit more fuel than water, so I'm not dizzy and lightheaded based on how my body processes. But I do personally know a lot of people that do it. And some people, as your aunt said, Gina, do it for religious reasons. So political reasons, health reasons, and religious reasons, I've heard of all. So yeah, so good job.
Thank you for that.
Was there any more from Facebook?
Let me go back in and find some more comments.
Okay. And thank you for your kind words, Jem. I do see, while you're looking, I'm going to switch to Jean-Carl to see what he saw there in terms of comments.
Sure. There's, like I said, there's nothing more in the chat, but I sure appreciate your share to me about the time it takes to digest and stuff like that. Because I found myself at one point, maybe I was drinking it too fast, and that's definitely true. I like to sometimes, I just like really take my water, like really take it. So
Mhm.
a couple of times I found myself feeling the urge to throw up,
Ooh,
but having like feeling a lot of liquid there also. So the solution to that will be to slow down when I drink.
right.
And as you shared it with me, I smiled because I'm like, okay, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. And the other part of it thank you for that share, Jean-Paul. If any of you are having challenges, like Celia so kindly shared about, she forces herself. Most things in life, we want a level of ease with it. And there's a study around water and the energy with it that you can charge the water. So the copper water bottle that I have does things like change the pH, makes it I believe, more pH balance, and and was something else that we need. I'll look it up. I have a paper that came along with the bottle that goes all the things that the copper water bottle does of it. And um, but charging the water. So if I'm holding a glass of water or a bottle of water and speak affirmations into it, like joy and love and light, I'm consuming this water and I'm healing my body. This water is a symbol of self-love. This is it's the water is beautiful, I am beautiful. However you feed affirmations into it. I am happy, I am love, I am light, I am whole, I am healthy. And he did a study and then said horrible things to the water, and they could see in the molecules of the water the energy change. So as we shift our perspective about the water and pour into the water and even see of it as self-awareness and love for ourselves. Because I'm gonna be very honest with you. And I might have mentioned this last time, but I'll say it again for people that weren't here for part one. I had a cousin, I love him dearly, still with us, thankfully. I was 9 years old. He was in the hospital with a kidney infection. And I remember asking my grandmother, because I couldn't understand, kids being in the hospital just seemed weird to me. Like I didn't understand why my cousin was in the hospital. It just seemed like as a young child, old people are in hospitals and he didn't break anything. And she said, was like, and I didn't know what kidneys were. I was like, didn't know what an infection was. And I was like, and so she broke it down for me very simply. He's in the hospital because he don't drink enough water. It was like, okay, got it. We're gonna drink us some water. And later on in life, I personally did have a kidney infection, but there was other reasons, like a UTI can turn into a kidney infection, can turn into a blood infection. Cars need oil, bodies need water. You want to grow in life, if you have any commitment in living your life long and healthy, you need water. Oh, Medawasio, thank you, Coach Cheryl. She put in there how to program your water from YouTube. I see more things popping in the chat, so I'm gonna go to somebody to see what's happening over there.
I love to do that for you. Okay, going back up here, Z made a comment about loving your rain.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
And let's see. Xavier is in the space and he says, good morning, family. Tuned in on Facebook and love the conversation. I'm coming off of a spiritual fast and will be doing a longer one this week. Question, what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? It was suggested by my doctor to address gastric issues.
Great question, Xavier. I have mixed feelings about intermittent fast. I do see lots of progress with people. When I was living in Kenya, I shared a house with a sister that absolutely believed in intermittent fasting for weight loss. So because you brought it up in the vein of spiritual fasting and for gastro bypass issues, for gas issues, I will say to you that something to look up is food combining. So in addition to the space that your body needs to process and digest water, there's also the thing about fasting is it lets your digestive system rest, right? So if you're only drinking water or if you're only having green juices. Or some fast, people will fast and it could be a raw food fast, right? So if you're having fruits and vegetables and nothing is cooked, all the enzymes are there and it's letting your body recalibrate. And again, using the computer analogy, something goes wrong with your phone or computer and you call a help desk, what do they tell? The first thing they tell you to do, I'm not even gonna say it. I want somebody in the space to say it or type it in the chat. When you call a help desk, what's the first thing they tell you to do when one of your devices is not working?
Turn it off and back on.
That's it. Thank you. So fasting or drinking your water and letting it, that's the same thing. You're letting your body rest. You're letting it reset. So with the intermittent fasting, the only reason I'm not 100% a fan of it, because fasting is phenomenal, but how you break a fast is just as important as how you fast. So if you break a fast and go buy some pizza or, pork chops, spare ribs. I mean, I don't consume meat, and I don't have a problem with people that do, but that's not the first thing you come back to. Carbs and protein are not the first thing you would phase in. You would come back with juices or come back with fruits or come back with vegetables. So what I would say to you, Xavier, is to please look up charts on food combining. Like Celia spoke earlier, and we're both from the Caribbean. So we're raised on a combination of rice and beans, starch and protein, and they're actually not good combinations. I and my family have horrific gastro issues. At any particular family gathering, you're going to hear a whole lot of gas being passed, and it's just normal. Somebody will like, it'll sound like all sorts of things, and it's normal, but it's from the food combinations. And I know I had horrible gas issues and even gas pain that I couldn't understand. And I'm doing charcoal pills and all these different things to process the gas in my body. But once I changed how I was combining the food, have your starch, have your protein, don't have them together. Have your food, have your water, but don't have them together. So your body's not competing for all of these things and trying to break them down at the same time. So with intermittent fasting, for those of you that may or may not be familiar, there are long periods of time. I tend to naturally have an intermittent fast when I read about it and heard about it from a client, because we all fast, and that's why the first meal of the day is called break fast, breakfast, because you're breaking your fast by consuming something. And that's where the word breakfast comes from, break fast. So breaking your fast with something to drink, and breaking your fast ideally would be with water with some sort of lemon and lime in it, which gives a certain pH balance to your water. And then you'll wait 15, 20 minutes and go on to something else that's light. We as people have a habit of having a heavy meal for breakfast because we want to fuel our body to do what it needs to do. And in the case of, like Celia said, or unfortunately, in looking at periods of people that work in factories, mills, or in slavery, that you were forced to work a long period of time, 10 to 15 hours, and without time for breaks. So you need something extremely heavy and salty to make your body work throughout the day. But most of us don't have that sort of existence, so you could probably go longer. I probably won't have an actual meal until lunchtime. Breakfast is going to be a smoothie. So I've already made a strawberry smoothie that's in the refrigerator so I can take it with me to yoga. It's basically strawberries, ginger, hemp seed, and water, all blended up together. And that's what will fuel my yoga practice until I come back and eat something and head out. So that's how I do it. So Xavier, I hope that answers your question. Please throw some more in the chat, but food combining will help with that. A lot of doctors don't talk about food and what you consume, and intermittent fasting is great depending on how you choose to break the fast and what you're eating once you start eating after that long period of time without eating, and also what you're drinking during the fast. Because I think they say it's water or tea generally. and maybe juices. I'm a big fan of green juices. And by green juices, I mean primarily celery, cucumber, not a lot of fruit. If you can't tolerate it without fruit, maybe add half an apple, but primarily green juices. That was a long answer, Xavier. I hope it was helpful. Was there anything more, Jean-Claude?
Yes, there have been a few more things posted here. And I want to give a shout out to Jim. Jim said it's nice to hear my voice in the space this morning. So thank you, Jim. Thank you so much for that. Car needs oil, body needs water. And that's Gina just echoing what you said there. Let's go down here. Xavier responded in the comment earlier when you were speaking. He said, yes, the rest on the digestive was extremely beneficial, allowed my body to detox itself and restore. Couple responses to that response and your question regarding what to do with the device. And here we have Xavier again, who said he agreed. My mama made smothered steaks. I knew not to eat it off a fast. Been feeling the effect for days. I was suggested to use Jello and smoothies to come off fast.
I want to interject on that part. Jello, I'm not a big fan of because of there's certain things in it. I always tell my clients, for those of you joining later, so I Chief Joy Connector, but I'm a health coach and an author, that you really want to read everything. And Jello, for the most part, when you're reading it, you don't know what half of those ingredients are. You may find a more natural version. And I'm not someone that consumes pork, and the gelatin that was traditionally used in Jello, I haven't purchased one in more years than I can remember, was made from pork to hold it together, to give it that gelatinous look and feel, was pork-based. So I'm not a big fan. So I would definitely say there are lots of things you can blend and drink that to come off of a fast. And even if you were choosing to make a salad and blend it, that would be easier. And even looking at your dressings. But as you read things and become more aware of what's in them, you make a conscious decision of, do I want to feed that to my body? Was out late at the show. Those of you that were on earlier, went to a show last night downtown. By the time it ended, my friend and I, they were hungry. I had taken a grapefruit with me and water, so I wasn't really hungry, but I wanted something. Nothing's open. Pizza shop had a long line. I wasn't going to have pizza. He wanted pizza. But I said, okay, let's go to 7-Eleven. He said, what are you going to get in 7-Eleven? I said, it's a hack. Corner stores generally have fruit. If I could only buy an apple, an orange, or a banana, it's something that's raw. And then they actually had pickles in a bag that I could rip open, got a fork. So I had pickle and tea, something simple, decaf. So there's a way you can read through it. And he was looking at crackers and cheese. And I was like, no, you've been doing well. Read what's in them crackers. Read what's like, you don't want all of that. Because crackers are like glue for the intestines, especially if you've been eating well, because, you know, that's what even pasta is, flour and water. You know, if you do art, y'all remember macrame, doing art, you're making a paste. And that's what it does to your colon. It creates a paste that lines your colon, you know, and you need to try to work to get that out. So yes, great job on choosing not to have the smothered steak that mom made, but I don't know that Jello it's a better replacement, yes. But as the kids say, we think there's levels to this. So there's levels to this cleansing and what you're doing. And even in talking about water, quality of water, if you're buying it, getting a filter. There's a health food store that I go buy pH balanced water from and fill a gallon jug and bring it home, because I do have a water filter, but I haven't tested, and you can buy strips to test the pH balance of your water. You know, so where are you drinking tap water? Are you drinking pH balanced water? Are you drinking Kangen water? There are water filters that, you know, that are copper and energize the water and circle it. There's levels not just to drinking water, but the quality of the water you consume. So same thing with the food that you consume. You keep getting me on tangents, Xavier. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to talk. Okay. I see Celia has her hand raised, and I know there were more comments, John Carl. Where do you want me to go first, to Celia or to you?
You can choose.
Okay,
And
so
Celia is a
Celia,
good
let
part.
me go to you, Celia, and then we'll come back to the chat.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking back to growing up with my grandmother, and I just remember that every morning she would have a cup of warm water. And she said that it would clean your stomach and it would help you to move your bowels. And
Yes.
she did this religiously every morning. So I'm wondering, could that have been like old wives' tale, or is it, really helpful?
No, that is definitely true. And it's a good reminder. And I said, because, and I think that's why for some of us in growing up, we have the old wives' tales, or as what is one of my friends called it, the ancestral teachings, the ancestral learnings that you get, and then we morph them. So it was hot water with lemon or lime, and that cleaning things out and helping you eliminate. And we're like, well, so we have something hot, so we'll have tea, or we'll have tea with lemon. Then all of a sudden we add sugar and we add milk. So we're watering it down or diluting the power that's available in it. But yes, it really does make a difference to get things going. Because again, if you think of the term breakfast, break fast, if you're breaking your fast with something warm, then you take a shower, when you wash dishes, when you wash clothes, the hot water, the warm water, it helps dissolve and break things down. The food that you've had in your body that may or may not be digested well overnight, maybe you ate something close to going to bed that has sat in your stomach, you're just helping break things down and move them through. The warm water helps things move through your colon. And this is not what we're talking about, but since she said it helped her, with elimination, with the bowel movement, you should be going more than once a day. So if you're not consuming water, or if you're consuming water and you're going to the bathroom once a day or once every few days, because I remember somebody telling me, it's like, oh, they go to the bathroom like once a week. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth. That's not healthy. You take your garbage out, you brush your teeth, you're putting food into the body. It needs to come out of the body. So level up the water, level up the water. But thank you for that, Celia. I'm going to go back to you,
And
Jean.
just one thing, after she would drink that warm water, she would wait half an hour before having her coffee. She said you have to drink the water and let it do its thing and wait at least half hour before you drink the coffee or tea or eat anything, or fruit or a banana or anything. So I'm just, that just came to my mind. I forgot all about that.
Look, I'm gonna go. Is she around? I need to talk to grandma. There's some you need to, if you could talk to grandma, there's some notes. There's some wisdom. There's science behind all of that. The science that I learned with water is only 15 minutes, but if you tell somebody a half an hour, it might be 15 minutes. So thank you for that. There is actual science behind that. She is correct.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Dionne, before hopping in the chat, let's acknowledge we're 6 minutes before the 8 o'clock hour.
Oh, thank you for that reminder. So I'm really blessed and happy to have all of you here on Facebook as well as on Zoom. And I know the chat has been lively in both places. And I'm going to ask the admins to pop my contact information in the chat.
Good
so
morning, Mr.
if you're not
Carter.
staying till the end, you'll be able to find me and reach out to me and
I'm
connect.
listening to this, but you have to pray, remember? You have to say
Well,
a prayer.
I'll ask the admins also to mute everyone, so we're not hearing anyone that's off mute. And if you're not speaking, to please keep yourself on mute. So yes, there's my contact information in the chat, how you can find me via my cell phone, Facebook, Instagram, and email. And they've added links to the website, as well as an offer for everyone. If you click on the second link that's there, or the first, there's a self-care bingo board. It does add you to my email list. But the self-care bingo board is a wonderful thing. And one of the squares, most of us are familiar with bingo and how you'll try to get bingo going diagonally or across 5 squares in a row. But when I did that particular bingo board, what was great about it is that one of the squares, of course, because I'm a big advocate of drinking water, is counting, did you drink 64 ounces? So getting bingo, and then you decide how you reward yourself with it. And if you find that you're not able to get bingo, you might have to have a conversation with yourself around your self-care, because self-care is self-love. So I'm really thankful that all of you have been here today, since it's a few minutes before the top of the hour, 8 a.m. here in New York. So if you do need to tap out, you each at least have a way to reach out to me. And I saw them share, the admins share about my offer, getting 10% off for certain things. So I'll just speak to what that is. One of the quotes that we shared and they typed in the chat is from my book, 101 Ways to Live Life in Joy by myself. And if you want autographed copies of the book and to get the discount, because you can get 10% discount, I don't have the Florida water next to me, but this is the one I use sometimes if it's in a roller bottle. I don't sell it like this, so I shouldn't show you something I'm not selling. But Florida water, if you're familiar, is really, I translate it as an energy clearing spray. So I used to have it in a spray bottle, spray myself, spray my hair, spray myself, even today after I got out of the shower this morning, to clear your energy. When I worked in corporate America, I'd come in early, sprinkle it around before I had in a spray bottle, clearing the energy of the space. Can't walk in your office and sage your people, but if you just spray something, they're like, oh, it's air freshener, or oh, it's a mood lifter. It's like, oh, that smells good. What are you wearing? It's good for so many things. So those are the things I'm offering that you can get a discount on. I do have coaching services, health coaching. Sometimes my coaching program is to right size your body, right size your life. But wanting to come back to the water, there's so many things in support of you and your life and growth. And the fun thing about the book, and you open it up, I don't expect anyone to read it straight through as a book, but see what energy you get in terms of a quote and the story that goes along with it and an action item. There's a journal that goes along with it as well, so you can see that. So if you're choosing to purchase it, and I love sharing about the book because it was something that was a goal that was birthed right here in the Wake Up Everybody community. I had written the book, but had not published it. I wrote it in 2021, 10th anniversary of my daughter's passing. But because I put it out there in a goals workshop, challenging myself and told everyone that I was going to launch it, it was going to be done on a certain date, and I was going to come back to Woo first and share with it and from it. And we did that this year, March 8th of 2022. So there's so many things that came out of the Woo community. But for me personally, one of them is pushing myself and making myself accountable with all of you, my Woo family, to give birth to that book. So thank you for being here. It's 7:59. And oh, I see love in the chat about the book. Thank you. I see Valerie is what I saw in Hearts and Love. And there's a journal about it and more ways for us to connect. So I'm going to go back to you, Jean-Carl, and sip on my water.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Xavier had a follow-up question, and he asks, this question is regarding medication during the fast. How do you suggest making the adjustments?
Now that's a hard one, and especially we are all that are not nutritionists, but as a wellness coach or health coach, that's a conversation you really need to have with your doctor. I cannot advise about that. I have been in, and it depends on what the medication is. If you, some medications are hard on your body, on your stomach, and they want you to consume something. So depending on the type of fast you are on, I would dare say, if you need to take medication, to continue your medication, but maybe modify your fast to go along with the need that you need to consume something. So a simple thing that you could have that's clean The milk that I make at home, I always want to take the laptop over and show you, like, I call myself a kitchen witch because I brew up all sorts of things in the kitchen. The Florida water I make in the kitchen. I make unsweetened hemp seed milk or cashew nut milk or almond milk, but I generally make all of them in my Vitamix. But the easiest milk to make that allows you to have protein is hemp seed milk, because you buy, preferably organic, but hemp seeds that are unshelled, and pop them in a blender. Generally, my recipe, because I like lighter milks, not heavy, is 2 cups of water with a 1/4 cup of hemp seeds, and you blend it. And it's creamy, milky white. Someone come over like, what's that? And there's so many jars and stuff in my refrigerator. I promise you, fam, go check Facebook. I'm gonna take a couple of pictures so you'll see all the stuff, or follow me on social media, because that's where I mostly post pictures about all the stuff that I do in the kitchen. And the hashtag is Cafe 506, because I call my kitchen Cafe 506. People would look at the pictures of my food and different things, like, where is this cafe? Where is this restaurant? The food looks good. I'm like, Cafe 506? I'm like, that's my kitchen. That's me. Because I like me, and I sit down to candlelit dinners at my table, because, yeah. But hemp seed milk is what I would recommend for you. If you remember, the other thing within a lot of our culture is at night, you'd have a glass of warm milk before you go to bed. So that warmness, so there's something about the warmness and a wait for comfort. So my comfort thing, and if you're doing a fast and you're purchasing it from a juice place, they generally have one bottle that's heavier, and that heavier, it would be a milk, generally an almond milk, and they'll sweeten it with dates normally. But I do make mine unsweetened because I blend it into so many things. Some of my breakfast things that I would have would be a porridge, but I make it actually with quinoa. So even while I was away recently and I made breakfast for the housemates, it was quinoa with berries, shredded coconut, and then some of the milk I make, whether it's coconut milk or the hemp seed milk. The coconut milk tastes better. It's coconut. The hemp seed is unsweetened, but that might coat your stomach enough, Xavier, for your body to be able to take the medicine on and not cause an adverse reaction. So as a person that's not a medical doctor, I feel uncomfortable advising you to stop taking medication. But what I will say, though, that I know personally from clients that have done yoga or have done fasting for a consistent basis. One woman I recall having problems after doing a 30-day challenge. 506 is my house number, Zakia. That's why it is. And so my son doesn't like me using Cafe 506 because he feels like I'm giving my address out. And I'm like, 506 is a whole lot of places. I could be anywhere in the world, and 506 is the house number. So that's why it's Cafe 506. I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was telling you. Old people.
That's so beautiful. I wanted to tell you, Dionne, I actually enjoyed listening to you speak. I can feel the passion, the burning passion in you when you talk about creating your own foods. And it actually came to me that that might be the next book venture you take on, where is a recipe book. You know, your natural combinations of putting things together.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm often asked for recipes, and what I've wound up doing for people, there was a sister that doesn't live in New York anymore that used to come over to my house once a week and spend the night and just watch me do things in the kitchen. And I have another girlfriend, because I make things, there's something called cabbage rejuvelat from the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute. That's so easy to make. It's literally, you take cabbage and blend it and then let it ferment. Sauerkraut, all of these different things to give your body the enzymes that it needs to process. So yeah, I do have a lot of passion about food as medicine, the food, the water, and what you consume, and a level of self-care and self-love to get to a point of health and healing and joy. You know, if your body is toxic, it's hard to experience the lighter things in life. And water is that first step, which is why I've chosen last time and this time to focus on that. Because one of the first things I have to work with all of my clients is how much water are you consuming? And for the most part, when people are struggling in certain aspects in their life, they're dehydrated and they're not drinking enough water. So thank you for that. I'll go back to the, so I haven't written recipes down, so that would be a challenge for me to get it just right. And there's a spiritual aspect to, as I term, being a kitchen witch and creating all these things in the kitchen where you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this. When you ask your auntie, it's like, oh, there's a pinch of this and a dash of that. Like, how do you measure pinch? And like, you measure pinch with your hands, but if your hand is bigger than mine, your pinch is gonna be bigger than my pinch. And if your hand is heavier, your dash is going to be heavier than my dash. But a pinch and a dash, it's always different. So there are things that I make and I love to create. I'm a great house guest. You invite me over, like whatever you have in your kitchen, I will find a way to make something up in it, a cook up. But I'm gonna go back to the chat.
Yes, lovely. And I want to let you know that I observe you're getting lost in that just now. And if you need to find inspiration to write those recipes, just come back to this replay.
Okay.
Just come back to this replay. There's a lot of great information there and passion there. You got lost for a reason.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, back to the chat. We have Helen who asked this a little bit earlier. You may have answered this, but is it safe to drink water 15 minutes before eating a full meal? I
Yes.
ask because I usually drink water well after my meals.
Oh yeah, definitely before or after is fine. After is a little longer because it takes your body a long time to digest. Again, people of color, everybody jokes about the itis. The itis is really poor food combining. When you are mixing foods that shouldn't go together, and it's not just starch and protein. I'm looking, when I sit and chat with y'all, I'm sitting at my dining table. So when I look around, I'm looking at things. So I have a chart on my wall that is a food combining chart. So I actually have taken pictures of that to share with clients, and you can order one yourself. Mine was a gift, but that particular chart talks about that. So certain fruits that shouldn't go together, and like being on a cleanse. Bananas are awesome, but they're very heavy fruit and they don't digest very well, but they're great for potassium. So there's certain things, like sweet fruits and less sweet fruits, and things on a certain glycemic level, certain food combinations, and not doing too much. So like, I don't really make a lot of fruit salads, or if I do, it's generally two things, trying to keep things more simple. When we look at the animal kingdom and how animals eat, it's like they eat a thing. There's a mono diet, having something for a while. So to the sister, I think you said Helen's question, when you are after dinner, your body is trying to process so much that it needs more time. So after a meal, it might be 30 minutes to an hour, which is really difficult. I can't say that I always follow all of these same rules, but I try. So 15 to 30 minutes is a great start, but I don't know how you eat, Helen, but if it's the standard, I guess American meals or something, and if there was a starch, a protein, and a vegetable, you probably want to wait a little longer, half an hour. And what I will dare say to all of you, if you find yourself craving more water, by the time you're craving water, you are dehydrated. And if you need to drink sooner after you're eating, you were already dehydrated. There's, by the time your body, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm thirsty. Because as I'm saying this to you, I'm reflecting. I can't remember the last time I felt thirsty because I'm always drinking. So thank you for that, Helen.
Yes, thank you. We're learning so much here this morning. And that the food combination chart sounds so beautiful. And so I can see the value in that. And so can Aaliyah. Her question here is, or her comment is, proper food combination has really changed my digestion. I am so sorry. I just found out about it this summer. All my life, I just been eating wrong combos. Who knew? Who knew you're not supposed to combine certain foods together? My father taught me about that years ago, but I never really knew the importance of it. So you're not the only one, Aaliyah. She also says, tastes great, but so bad for us to do every day. I have to make a conscious effort to not mix the protein with the starch. The hardest, the hardest has been uh, diminishing, forgive me, dyslexia popping up there. Um, consumption of rice and peas
Yeah,
and beans. Also, pasta and garlic bread, bad combos.
yeah. And yeah, wait, were you done, John Carl?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
There's a lot more comments, but that's it for that particular comment. It seemed as though you wanted to respond to that one.
Yeah, because that one, when you said pasta and garlic bread, I would say, I'm not going to say don't eat pasta, but really take a deep dive into the quality of your foods you're consuming. I have switched my pastas now to, there are pastas now that are made from grains. So the first level up going from, we all grew up on Ronzoni pasta. And I remember talking about in the like really tight financial days, there's certain things. So white rice and white pasta is they're generally what we could afford. So if you have a budget to shift from standard pastas, Barilla, or whatever, to move to pastas that are plant-based. I really think that's someone is off mute. I can hear that. So please, you can look into there are pastas that come from beans. So some of my favorite are chickpea pasta, black bean pasta, and my favorite is made from red lentil. And when you read them, they make a flour from it. So when you're consuming Indian food, most Indian food is already gluten-free because their bread, their naans, they're different thing. Most of the flours are made from different beans or different flours that are not wheat-based. So that's something else in terms of a gluten-free diet. I don't think everybody needs to be gluten-free, but I think so many of us have developed gluten intolerances because we over-consume things in this culture. So pasta and garlic bread, I love bread, let's be clear, but the quality of the bread you consume, the grains that it's made with, and making your own garlic bread. My digestion sensitivities and allergies and food allergies, like I'm not allergic to mangoes or apples or any of those sorts of things, but my body, and it's a conversation of listening to your body. And I see two hands raised. So I see you, Gina and Catherine. So I'm probably going to do Gina first, because I think she'll have stuff from the chat, and then Catherine. But that your body is talking to you. Our bodies are always talking to us, and we have to listen and to figure out what it's saying, whether it's an ache or a pain. Another conversation with one of my clients, she always, your private yoga client, cramps. We'd be doing something, she'd stop and she's rubbing her calf, or she's rubbing her ankle, or she's rubbing those Charlie horses that you've heard. It's a cramp. That's your body's cry for water. You drink enough water, you probably will not have those cramps. This same client, still working with me, has finally noticed she doesn't have the cramps anymore that she would have all the time because she's consuming enough water. And then the pains and aches in her body, as she cleaned up her diet and got rid of things like bread, or reduced her consumption. Because I don't want to say you can't have meat, you can't have bread, you can't have pasta. Have them. Look at when you're having them. And a really big thing for me that I think is important is why you're having them. Our connection to food, and as Jean-Carl said, I have so much passion around food. I'm an absolute foodie and I love eating, but it's what you eat, when you eat, and the really important part of it is why do you eat? Some of it is memory and comfort. I think it was Helen talking about how she was taught to eat. And all of us, those of us that are Caribbean or Southern, we grew up with rice and peas or rice and beans. And then there's breadfruit or fry bread, Johnny cake, and all these things that are starch-based. but historically, we worked outdoors. We had livelihoods that took us out, and you needed something heavy to charge you, to fuel you. Most of us don't have that existence anymore. So unless somebody's on here as a construction worker or a full-time dancer or a runner, like if you're a runner, you can carb load. You can have all the pasta and garlic bread that you want because you are running it off. Runners generally have horrific diets because they need so many carbs to fuel their diet. So they generally eat poorly and run everything off. So Gina and then Catherine.
Yes, the Facebook chat is popping. We have 17 people here at one point.
Wow.
So yeah, Facebook is live this morning. So we have Jem McBean shared some more. Let's go back. It's just moving so quickly. Let me go back. Okay. She did share about some Ayurvedic principles, and she said Ayurveda teaches to use warm water with lemon first thing upon arising every day. So that is something that one of the things. And Gaynor Martinez, welcome Gaynor, said, for years, I watched my granddad drink warm water with lemons or lime each morning before he ate breakfast. And he explained to me that we should drink a glass each day to clean our intestines. So it is something that people, like you said, about that ancestral knowledge. And Florence wanted to remind you when you had a little senior moment that you were speaking about porridge with quinoa.
Oh, wait, stop right there. Let me get that in. The porridge with quinoa, because I grew up with porridge, the Caribbean background, all of our porridge is generally made with cornmeal. You know, it's gluten-free, not bad, but it's porridge with canned milk, right? You got porridge with canned milk and sugar. And that's the heavy thing, the sweet thing to start your day. So my porridge, the way I've re-envisioned it, is with quinoa and coconut and the fruit. And that's generally it. And maybe some milk. And that's the porridge that I would make, or chia seed. Chia seed porridge, you make chia with water and adding a fruit to it. So those are the two fast food meals that I make. If I haven't cooked quinoa already, I can do something fast food with quinoa. I say fast food because quinoa, you can pour the boiling water over it and add the fruit. Thank you for helping my senior moment out. I appreciate you, girl.
Yes, Florence is on it. And we have more comments. Tiffany Matthias joined and said, I'm sitting here with my mind blown. Thank you for this knowledge. Some of my favorite food combos are bad for me. So we're all just sitting here learning. And I know that I'm all about Cafe 506. I want to make reservations, but I would like you, if you could possibly at some point put up a video on porridge, because it's something that I just recently learned about, the Caribbean style of making porridge. Because in this country, generally we will have, we don't eat porridge, we might have oatmeal, we might have farina, we might have Maltex, some other hot cereals. But I started learning how to make porridges out of like plantain and things like that, and yam. And it's been so delicious. But you talking about making it out of quinoa, it's just so exciting. So maybe you might want to put up a video or something for us, because those of us who don't know porridge, we should get to know it.
Yeah. And the nice thing about doing it with quinoa is that it's, again, grain, whole grain, seed, and protein. So and a lot of us that are plant-based, that's always you're trying to think of where you're getting protein from. Even though there's some in green leafy vegetables, there's some in the hemp seed, and there's lots of natural ways to get protein. But if you're a body type or blood type needs more than others. I don't remember my blood type, but I remember in doing that study and learning eating for your blood type, I don't need a lot of protein, but I just love beans. So I generally make beans. But thank you for all of that, Gina. Were you done?
I'm sorry, we got one new one just popped in. And it's a tip for everyone from Tiffany. Okay, it's a good tip from Tiffany. And Tiffany is saying, I have started keeping a pitcher of water with sliced lemon on my kitchen counter. So that's a nice hack, right?
Yes, that's a wonderful hack. There's a group of I'm not in a dance company anymore, but one of my friends that's still in a dance company, Forces of Nature, for those of you that know them, she started a group of us to kind of give ourselves health hacks. And one thing she really got me hip to is I would infuse my water. There are things that I do naturally and listening to my body. I like cucumbers that you heard I had a pickle for a snack. Infusing your water is a phenomenal hack because you're still getting the health benefits from it. So if you fill up a pitcher of water, and if you're tired of lemon water, try cucumber. You're tired of that, try lavender. You can, Sister Cheryl, one of the coaches here, Young Living Oils, she sells them. You can get oils like, okay, I'm not going to cut up cucumber. I'm not going to cut up lime. You can get oils that can go in the water that are tangerine, that are sage, that are this, that are food grade that you can consume to change the energy and balance of your water and still get the nutritional value to feed your body. We are ultimately in a goal to elevate and grow. And as we desire to elevate and grow, we have to look at our consumption. So this is why it's really important for me, for us to have this conversation, starting it with water, but really moving towards all consumption. Your social media consumption, your television consumption, your books, your friends, the people you speak to, all of that is consumption. And you really need to look at what are the vibrations? What are you pulling into yourself? What are you consuming? So I've had you waiting forever, Catherine. So let me get your voice in there.
Oh, Grand Rising, beloved Queen. Waiting is something I am willing to do, so that is okay. When you talked about the blood type, that is some more information. I'm not telling you anything, I'm just saying out loud. There's so much information that we can benefit from. And what I learned on this journey for me is that I needed to first recognize what I am eating. The combinations of what I am eating was deliberate. It was deliberate that I have a hamburger, French fries, and a milkshake. All that was deliberate. It was a setup. So when I understand that it was a setup, then I need to know that some readjusting was necessary. I concur with the water. I can attest to it. I'm raising my hand every morning when I wake up. I go to the water, room temperature water, drink at least 12 straight ounces, and I take a high blood pressure pill. It's really a water pill, but I do take a pill. So that's what I use to start my water consumption. I wanted to piggyback on being thirsty. When you recognize that you're doing things out of habit, which is to eat and drink at the same time, when you recognize that and stop doing that, then you realize, oh, wow, I only drink when I'm thirsty, because I mostly only drink water. Let me retract that. I drink I drink water, and then I drink ginger teas because of the poor condition my body is in from trauma and from soothing eating. My body just shut down and it was terrible. So I needed to drink certain teas to get things going, take some magnesium, probiotics. Now, I mean, tore down, but I give myself grace and I understand why it got that way. So if I'm eating to comfort myself, the trauma came, I'm eating the cheeses and all the combinations that don't really go together. And it's sitting inside of me. 7 years ago, I ate something and it's actually inside of me. So waking up and drinking some water is the very least thing I could do for my body. So I wanted to share that. And then also, depending on where you came from will also determine the things that your body will accept as food. But food is medicine. I'm not trying to have my own session right now. I'm just sharing right now what really benefits. What I benefit.
I am going to interject, and I agree, but what you're saying about in terms of the 7 years, that because our body does change over and you're a whole new person, the cells change. But I'm also a big fan of enemas and colonics. So making sure, you use the same water the same water that you're consuming orally, like that's what a colonic is, or an enema, and having the water. I'm not a big fan of the store-bought ones. I mean, again, Caribbean, my background, some of us grew up with having the green bottle. I don't know who remembers that, Citroma. There would be a green bottle and you'd have to drink it. They say call it a physic to clean you out. If any of you are at the age where you're having colonoscopies, there's something they give you to clean you out. So clearing that colon out at this level of awareness, I would hope for all of us, there's been some action that you've taken or will take to clear your colon, to give your body a restart, whether it is a juice fast, a raw food fast, getting a colonic, or doing a water enema, not the store-bought saltwater enemas. And if that's your first start, that's great. But again, there's levels to this. Start there and go to something so you're getting that waste out. Because as we age, that waste will get stuck in your joints. It'll get stuck and you'll be crickety and creaking, and even, you know, arthritis and different things. So thank you for that, Catherine. I'm looking at time.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, we ran out of time?
Yeah, I do want to move on to Adam because he's been waiting, but I'm thankful for your shares.
Good morning, Bull Nation. Good morning, Dionne. I just want to touch on the water consumption, and the one thing that you didn't touch on is how it affects your bone health, because your bones is made out of 31% of the water. So what I found was when I drink 160 ounces of water a day, that it helps strengthens my bones to the point where it can prevent any kind of injury and prevent inflammation in the process. So I wanted to, point that out for you and anybody else.
Yeah, thank you so much for that reminder,
You're welcome.
Adam. And as for someone, though some of you know me, so I'm a yoga teacher and an African dance teacher as well, not in a dance company, but definitely attest that to how physically active I've been and the water consumption for, the joints, for my joints. And even though challenges, whether you're in your bones, I want to be clear with what Adam brought up, your bones, your teeth are bones, right? So all of that, your teeth, so the bones that you can see and the bones that you can't see. So if there are lots of challenges going on with your teeth, that's pointing back to your bones. This is an example. This is a person in my family, so I won't say, cousin, mother, sister, brother, so they won't be identified. But I have a particular family member that's relatively young, as in not a legal adult yet. And that family member has had thousands and thousands of dollars of dental work. And because it started when they were a minor, and I had to go to the dental office with this family member because an adult always needed to be there with the minor. And as I listened to the dentist talking about the acidity level of her saliva and how it was eating away her enamel, and I'm like sitting there, reading a book, and I heard the dentist say something. I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? What did you say about the acidity level in her saliva that's eating away the enamel on her teeth? Like, what does that mean? So could you break that down for her so I can explain it more and we can look at what she's consuming and how much water she's having and the food, if it's starchy and sugary and all these things that break down. So there's a pH balance. And I don't remember the name of that book. I think it's Alkaline or Dye or pH balance. There are different books about that to understand the pH balance and the acidity level of your saliva. And that's why the lemon in the water is so important, and really looking at that. But Adam sent me off on a tangent thinking about this particular family member and the poor dental hygiene, because people don't think of that. And there's somebody, Jean-Carl, I'm going to ask you to remind me of the sister that speaks, that's a dentist that talks about the oral hygiene. Do you remember her name? No.
No, I don't.
She's spoken a couple of times, and I'm just like, yeah.
Sister Faye.
Say it again?
Faye, F-A-I.
Thank you. So, I mean, if you go back and listen to some of her talks and just seeing how that relates. And so your teeth are your bones. So you're having dental problems, there's problems with the bones, not just bone density. So this water, man, it's important. But I don't want to keep going. We are at the official end time. So I'm going to say bear with us for just maybe 5-10 minutes tops to get through any questions and comments that are on Facebook, and then going through what else is coming up. Thank you for your patience and your participation. Go ahead, Jean-Carl. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of information in the chat, Dionne, where there are questions here and the comments that will lead on. So what I'm going to ask for you to do is go to those 3 dots at the bottom of the chat box and save the chat.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I can follow up. So anybody that's here, if your question was not answered, 1, you have a way to reach out to me directly, and 2, I will go through it. What I generally do, if there's something I miss, I go back to the Facebook post and where the video is and respond to what I see in terms of questions and comments. But I know I'm out a lot of the day today. So if I miss you, please, please, please be sure to send me a message. Oh,
Yeah.
Adam is making all kind of faces over there. I have to go see what's happening.
And if there's anyone that has a comment or a question that they want answered right now, you can take this time to come off mute and share your comment or question.
While people are thinking, I will share from Facebook some recent comments. Jem McBean said she used to eat plantation flour porridge, oatmeal, and she does to this day, and cornmeal porridge for breakfast. And Tiffany shared that she was introduced to lavender lemonade this week, and she's got a lot of yummy, delicious emojis. And Jem also shared that someone gifted her an infuser, a picture with an infuser. And I mean, well, a lot of times we have that stuff in the house and we just don't think, we think it's for special occasions or guests or company. We are special occasions and we are guests, especially
Absolutely.
taking a cue from you at Cafe 506 with the table set and the candlelight. We could at least, get a nice picture of infused water and, enjoy that too.
Yes, yes, yes. I do see Kaisha raised her hand. And Kaisha, you're going to be the last one.
Okay, just really quickly, because I've been contemplating leaving this comment. It's a positive. My 14-year-old daughter, she gets a lot of her hacks off of TikTok. And her latest hack now that she's into is infused water. And the things that you've said, I'm going to take back to her, the benefits. I mean, she's already learned. So her first infusion was strawberry, lemon, and basil. And it really shocked her system and cleansed it out to where she said it's not good to do before school. Because she doesn't do anything in school. She waits till I don't know how she has the stomach of steel on how she could wait till the end of the day. So she eliminated the basil. Now I have a whole bunch of strawberries, and I told her, don't let these strawberries go bad because strawberries are out of season and these prices are going up.
You are so right. Strawberries is so good for everything. And there's something else. If you're someone that doesn't love fruit, I love that. Oh, people are dropping in parsley, cilantro, strawberry, lemon, basil, all of it's fabulous. And the way her body responds might not be the way somebody else's body responds, but it still is cleansing because you're getting the healing properties from that. And depending on how long it stays in there, the cucumbers are so hardy when I do cucumber, because I just love cucumbers. Cucumbers are so hardy. Once you finish that water, they might still be okay enough for you to still eat the cucumbers. So you get what's in it, and then you get the fiber that's in the actual cucumber. But yeah, it's not so great to wait all day. I don't understand how people do that. I'm somebody that's like, if there's a bathroom, I'll figure it out. But also from living and traveling to different continents, as well as countries, it's like what a bathroom is very different. So you have to get a little bit more open and not expect it to be an American bathroom with a porcelain toilet and be comfortable with going somewhere else. So maybe she'll grow out of that one, Kaisha. But thank you for that share. I appreciate it. So I'm going to ask, I will save the chat and get back to anyone else, but I'm going to ask my handsome admin to bring up the slide so I can tell you what's next and how you can all reach me and remind you of the offer, even though we mentioned it already. Yes. So my special offer for all of you is a 10% discount on all the products and services that I offer, but it is a time sensitive. So you've got about 3 weeks to make a choice of what you would like. Coaching, the Florida water, and the Florida water generally comes in not this little bottle. It's 2-ounce bottles or 4-ounce bottles with my logo on it. You can see pictures of them on my website when you go look. Yoga classes or an autographed copy of the book, 101 Ways to Live Life in Joy. You can simply email me, and that is my email address, Dionne@joyousocean.com to redeem. And then here, my contact information. I'm phenomenal by text. Call me. I probably will not answer the phone, but I will get back to you by text. And if I need to call you back, we can. But when you look at the bottom, that link tree, there's a way to schedule time to speak with me. So instead of giving my direct website, joyousocean.com, I always give the link tree because me speaking this morning was the top thing listed. And then whatever else is happening, the yoga classes, the book, all of that is there. If you are so inclined to share from your heart money, my own natural energy yield, you can give a love offering. It can be done by Zelle or QuickPay or Cash App. And you would use the code #656 for today, DM, my initials, code 656DM, and whatever contributions you make will make their way to me. But to support the overall organization, there is a way for you to give monthly donations. And the monthly love offering, you can do 25, 50, 75, or 100 using the Bitly hashtag Bitly website, doing Bitly Woo Love 25, Woo Love 50, Woo Love. They'll also drop that in the chat for you as well. And because we are here 5 days a week, tomorrow, the wonderful Tiffany, who has been sharing from Facebook, is speaking tomorrow. And the name of her talk is Hey Family. And then we also have, that's on Monday, tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we have I Am Not a Role Model, facilitated by Martine. So please be sure to come back and enjoy these wonderful facilitators as they share their gems with you, with us. Oh, and passing it back to handsome Jean-Carl.
Thank you so very much, Dionne. And here in the community, if you are new to this community, we want to welcome you. We welcome in all new members, and we invite our family to extend that welcome to you. A community where we choose to learn, elevate, and ascend. Thank you so very much for joining us. If you're here in Zoom with us, or if you are on Facebook, just share that you're new in the chat. Here's our schedule. You can find this here Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. Our workshops are always streamed live to Facebook, and you can always get your replays there. And for your Woo alerts, you can text Woo Nation to the number 74121. Again, that is Woo Nation to 74121. And for our Woo swag, we invite you to visit our swag store. That's bit.ly/Woo swag. There you can support our community with your purchases of whatever items we have there. We have water bottles, we have tote bags, t-shirts, and journals, and several other items. Go to our Woo store at bit.ly/Woo swag. And thank you so very much for staying in touch Here are a couple other ways you can do so, a few other ways you can do so. You can register with our community at bit.ly/wake up movement, or you can find us on Facebook. We have 2 websites there. You can find us at 2 pages there. You can find us at a private page, bit.ly/Woo Community, and our public page at bit.ly/Woo Nation. On Instagram, we are at Wake Up Everybody Virtual and bit.ly Woo on YouTube for our YouTube page. Or you can always email us info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Thank you so very much, family. I'm going to take the screen share down so that we can welcome Dionne to her love shower. And here's the opportunity to come off mute, come on video, and bless Dionne with love.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Thank you,
wonderful.
beloved.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Dionne,
thank you,
for the
thank
great
you, thank you,
presentation
thank
on
you.
water.
Love you, love you, love you.
Hydrating, paying attention to
Thank you.
what we think and who we're with. It's all been so juicy and
Thank you so much.
Thank
This session was so timely, so awesome.
Love
I
you, love you, love
appreciate
you.
your
Thank you, thank you, thank
presentation
you.
style. It's so
Wow.
contagious and just makes you want to listen and hold on to every word. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
There you go.
So much appreciated. And I will be reaching out to schedule a consultation.
Yes.
I love this subject.
And let's move forward, everybody. Stay away from that sugar and salt.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Mhm. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. You are a beacon of light. This was great.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And you're getting thanks from Facebook as well. Tiffany says thank you. Yes.
Come back again.
Officer Dionne in the building. She would check to see if you have sugar and flour and salt, and she'll be livid if you don't have water.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I do like my salt though, Adam, but quality salt.
Himalayan salt, right?
That's
Yeah.
in my house. Pink Himalayan or black salt. So yeah.
There you go.
I like salt and sweet. I try to modify.
Please do. We want to keep you around, Z. Your babies want you around too. Peace
Yeah,
and
Z.
blessings, y'all. We'll see you soon.
And I'll pick you up, Dionne.
Okay.
And Jem said, awesome, awesome session.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. See you next time.
Gina?